gardening. You know how much I love it, and I hope you enjoy it too. In fact, I hope I spark some interest in gardening with you by doing these shows outside and also working with some of the items that I grow here in my garden. Those of you that have grown zucchini, whether in ground or in pots, you've ended up with one bigger than you thought you'd ever have, right? The perfect size zucchini is like, you know, between 6 and 8 inches long and about 2 inches in diameter at most, okay? I like them smaller than that myself. However, if you go away for a day or two, well, maybe like a week, you'll come home if you got zucchini in the garden and they just blow up, right? And a lot of times I end up throwing these away. Last Friday, Lisa and I were at a restaurant up in Santa Rosa at Joe's place, La Coco's. It was just absolutely fabulous. And the chef took the large zucchini and he did something I've always known to do, but I have never tried it with zucchini. So today we're gonna do that. We're gonna show you how to use these big zucchini. This thing is like maybe 3-4 pounds. Could be upwards of 5. I haven't weighed it yet. And you know, I always thought of these like, okay, what can I do with that zucchini? I can just chop it up. I can do the seeds. I can grate it and make zucchini bread. However, today I'm going to show you how to use this bad boy. Okay, let's do it. Once we get it prepped up, we're going to saute it with onion, again from the garden, a shallot. No, I did not grow this one, although I have some that I plan to grow in my next crop, and an heirloom tomato, yes, what came from one of the pots behind me. So, and if we get time today, I'm going to show you, I've started to take the tomatoes that we seeded, the ones I showed you a few weeks ago, how they're coming along, and I'm going to transplant them. We're going to put them up alongside the house because it's autumn. It's getting cooler at night, and I don't want to kill the tomatoes. So you put them close to the house, they will be protected from the frost. In fact, let me show you those before we get going on this recipe. Peace, spread love. Okay, so here are the tomatoes I was telling you about. We potted these up a few weeks ago. These are the ones that I'd seeded over in the beds. Now they are ready to transplant into bigger pots. And I've got like 5 in that little pot there. That's a cherry, and then we've got the different tomatoes that we've grown. So we'll pot those up, put them around the house in different areas. So that will protect them from the frost. So hopefully we'll have tomatoes right into Christmas time. Yay, peace. Emoji C here, touting the benefits of eating zucchini. Fresh zucchini, please. I'll have 2 helpings. Zucchini is loaded with potassium, dietary fiber, and folic. Also contains high amounts of vitamin A and C. All these things contribute to heart healthiness, lowering our chances of having heart attack and or stroke. Zucchini, please, on the menu. Got our setup here. I've got water in this saute pan, and the trick to taking this extra large zucchini and making it something that you can work with is we're just going to par it. We're going to get the water boiling. We're going to slice the zucchini up into workable, or should I say manageable slices, and then we'll have it ready to cook. I've got a bowl here that we'll put the cooked squash in. Now, these things are quite tough. Look at that. Now, so we're going to cut it. This has already been washed. And, oh, I haven't gotten to the seed pocket. I'm going to show you what to do with the seeds as well. I think that's going to be enough for our dish today. So I'm going to put this off to the side. I've got a table to my right. I am not throwing this on the ground. Oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Now we might do a little trimming. Our water has come to a boil. And we're just going to slice this into little cubes. I'm still looking for a table to work outside. Look at those pieces. Okay, you can make them smaller or larger based on who you are serving. I've got more water to my right as well. I don't want this to cook out. Maybe I should have brought a stock pot out to cook this in. And we're just going to drop these in for about, once the water's boiling, for about 30 seconds. That's all we're doing, is just parring it. What that does is it allows this squash to soften up these harder pieces. When they grow big like that, we can soften them up, which makes them much easier to saute or to steam or however you want to serve them. So now we don't have to throw away this gorgeous big zucchini. All right, so let's just start putting these in. I want the water to have come to a rapid boil though. Let's break these up, separate these pieces. We could have cut those a little smaller, so I may do some smaller as well. I'm going to place the lid on and just let this come to a boil, and then we'll time it. 30 seconds. See, now once you put all that zucchini in the pan, it lowers the temperature of the water, so it's got to come back up to a boil. We'll let that do that. Okay, this piece. Let's take a look at this. Now, while we're allowing that to come back up, this will go into my mulch pile. Let's take, and I'll show you how we can prep even more of this. I'm going to go right to the center and get some of the, how big this is. Boy, this is, whoops, runaway squash. You see the seeds in there? I'm going to cut here. Now we're going to do some seed saving. Should I say seed gathering? I'm just going to trim. And all that we're trimming away, we can use. Just cut that up. I have never frozen any of this zucchini, but I may try it out to see. I'm not sure if I want to saute it later on. However, it might be great in soups, the frozen zucchini, this large pieces like this. Now look at that. Those are smaller, a little more bite-sized pieces. Also be great on shish kebabs. What do you think? All right, let's move this off to the side. And now let's look at our seeds here. We're just going to pluck those out. I'm going to dry them out, and then we can save seeds for our next year's crop. Look at that. All right. I am not going to have to buy zucchini plants next year. So if I break this with my hand. Oh, look at that, all the seeds that come out of there. We're just going to take and, there we go. What do you think, huh? Zucchini seeds for next year's crop. Look kind of like sunflower seeds, don't they? All right, let's take a look at our squash that's been cooking now. That's about 30 seconds. Let's see if it's softened up. That's the key to it. We want to check it to see if it is softened up. Oh yeah, it's getting there. Yep. All right, we're going to come back. I'm going to take this out, place it in that little bowl there, and then we'll get set to make our zucchini, tomato, onion side dish. All right, y'all, peace, spread love. Welcome back to the beautiful outdoors. The zucchini, as you can see, it's cooked up, and I'll show you what I mean now. It's really soft now. Look at that. And I think we're going to cut it just a bit smaller. A few of them. It smells so good. You know, now this has no salt, pepper, no seasoning on it at all. It's just the zucchini. I love that. That flavor is just incredible. From the backyard. And that's that big squash that most of the time we think of throwing away. So, you gardeners out there, don't throw those big squash away. Just go ahead and prep them up like we did today. Par them. And now we're going to make a nice little side dish, or it could be, for those of you who don't want to eat meat, this could be the entree. We could serve this up almost like a ratatouille or just a sauteed vegetable medley there. Okay, olive oil into our pan. We'll turn it on. And we're going to start a little different today, because normally we'll start with the onions to build the flavor profile. The onions or garlic or something like that to flavor the oil. However, today we're going to use our squash first. It's going to be the base. And let's see if we can get this. There we go. Burner's going. I've got a lid for that pan because I want to keep that moisture in the pan. Squash is ready. So the next thing I'm going to prep up is the shallot. Shallot is a member of that onion family. Like I said, this is the only thing that I didn't grow myself that's going to be in this dish today, well, other than the herbs. You know, and I could, because I've got thyme growing, I've got tarragon growing, I've got basil. Oh, I smell the olive oil already. So let's go ahead and transfer our squash with the water that's in there into our pan. And hopefully we'll get a sizzle. Well, maybe I won't put as much water in there because oil and water, they say, don't mix. Little agua. I'm going to get everything going. I think I'm going to add a little more olive oil over the squash here. And as I always like to remind you, olive oil is a vegetable oil, so it flows through the body. Let's add our first little bit of seasoning. I've got salt and pepper blend there. Can you see that at home okay? We're going to sprinkle some of that over the top. I'm going to lower our heat. And we'll get that, let's get this shallot prepped up. Just remove that little skin there. And those of you that are really like, you know, earthy, you can go and add that onion skin to your dish. It just adds more roughage, okay? Dietary fiber. Now that's really fibrous. Those of you who take that like to eat a lot of fiber, you know, that's true fiber there. And if it's diced up enough, you won't even tell it's in the dish. It's like a little piece of paper there. Okay. Get this chopped up and into the pan. I don't want that much fiber in my dish, however. Can you hear the neighbor's chickens? Every now and then they'll bring over fresh eggs, and I got to tell you, I love it. I just don't know if I can handle the chicken coop in my backyard. Let's break that up a little bit. Keep an eye on those squash. Now, they will cook quickly. This is a dish that does not take a long time to cook because that squash has been pared. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful, y'all? Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be chefs. I think it's okay to have them chefs in the family, right? All right, now that goes back on. Let's get this shallot diced up in there. And again, no whoop, no big whoop on how you cut this up. Ooh, I got a little slant in my table, so I got to be careful. I can't chop too fast. This morning when I was setting this up, I tried to make sure I had it level. I got the level out and everything, I guess. You see that little tilt there? So Chef Curtis has to be nice and easy with his chopping today. Onions go in, or those are the shallots, my bad. Shallots. Now we're going to take and dice the onion up. And it really matters not which you put in first, the onions or the tomatoes. Gonna add mushrooms to this dish. Mushrooms would be so nice in this. Oh. Remember again, to regulate the heat, you can raise it up and off regulate the temperature in the pan, I should say. Just raise it up off the heat. The closer to the flame, the hotter the pan, right? That shallot smells so good. A little more of that. Salt, pepper. Let's add some basil. Why are we using basil in this? Well, we've got tomatoes going to go in too. Tomatoes and basil go great together. I've got a little bit of my gorgeous seasoning from Kingsford. Yeah, the barbecue folks. I like this little garlic blend they have. Careful if I lower the flame too much outside, it might blow out on me. So careful with that. Now, let's go ahead and we're going to cut up this beautiful heirloom tomato. Again, this came from one of our plants right behind me. The plants in the pots did quite well this season. I'm just cutting it up. Cutting it up. Everything was washed, pre-washed before coming out. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the beauty. Look at that tomato. Oh. I've got my little bendy cutting board so I can just take this right over and add it right to the pan. Remember, when it comes to cooking vegetables, you can't undercook them, okay? I'm gonna raise this up, take a look. Oh, it looks good. I wanna keep all that beautiful liquid right in our pan. Folks, this smells divine. Oh. Now, we will add our tomatoes. And the last thing we wanna prep will be our yellow onion, Spanish onion. And I am proud to say, from my garden, those seeds, I might keep those because this was a beautiful tomato. That looking good. Last thing we got to prep is that onion. Let's do it. So I already have a shallot in there. I've got the yellow squash. I've got the zucchini and the tomato, and our spices, our herbs, seasonings. All right. Just gonna use like half of this onion. Look at that. From my garden. Remember that was a show I did when I was at the Food Network up at Fetzer, the Fetzer Winery up in Hopland. And that was one of my favorite places to shoot a show because all that gorgeous produce that they were growing right there, I was able to just walk out and grab things to cook with it. That's kind of the inspiration of what I'm doing now. That show, it was probably my favorite show with Food Network. Being outside in a garden, had Curtis on with me quite a few times. He'd come up and I'd make him part of the show. All right, here we go. Our last ingredient, we're just gonna allow this to cook down for about 4 to 5 minutes. Remember, vegetables, don't worry about undercooking because you can eat them raw. And the closer to raw they are, the more nutrients they produce. Well, it's not that they produce more nutrients, it's just that the closer to raw they are, the more that they can send out to your body, okay? The more you cook it, the more nutrition get kind of diluted or cooked away. Now let this cook for just a minute or two. Let those onions add some flavor. I'm gonna add a little more garlic. I'm gonna add a little more olive oil to it. And then we are ready to taste. And let's see what I can come up with today. Maybe a blast from the past. Since I'm talking about Fetzer, I might see if I can find some of that old Food Network footage to show you my gorgeous Fetzer garden. Peace, spread love, y'all. It's always about spreading love, you know? Look at the things we have in common as opposed to things we have that aren't common, right? Start from a common ground and we can grow out. We can do so much and change everybody's life for the better. Peace starts with me. Spread love. Welcome, welcome back. Show you how to sing this song, Welcome Back, Carter. Let's take a look at our dish today. Ooh la la, it does look like ratatouille, huh? All we need to do is add some eggplant to that. Isn't that beautiful? That's simple squash, tomatoes, onions. 2 types of onions, the shallot and just the yellow onion. Oh, I love that. I love that aroma. Get your nose into it. This will be great with rice. You can do it over pasta. One of the things I love doing is like a hearty, thick, like multi-grain bread, 9, 15, 20. There's from someone, I think it said bad Bad Baker, whatever it's called, makes a 21 grain bread. Can you imagine? Oh, that's so beautiful. There we go. Just add a little bit in there. Cook it a little longer. You can cook it down to a soup, huh? We could add chicken to this. You could add shrimp, whatever you want to, you know, beef it up if you want to by adding beef. For those of you that enjoy meat. Now this is a little hot, so let's blow on it and take this taste of squash. Remember how much I enjoyed the taste of that squash before I added the other vegetables? Those heirloom tomatoes, wow. Add so much to it. A little more salt and pepper. You know, they always say season to taste. Well, you have to taste it, then add the seasoning or make the adjustments, okay? Well, let's see what else I got for you on this show today. Peace, spread love, eat good food, y'all. That's the key, eat good food. A little bit of salt helped it. What I might do with this, I can take and cook some ground beef or ground chicken, and with this, wow. All right, y'all, peace, spread love. If you'd like to get in touch with Curtis, that's me. Just scan the QR code. Coming up, a blast from the past, that Fetzer garden I spoke to you about earlier. Spread love. Hi there, I'm Curtis Aikens. Welcome to the show. This new show, this wonderful show, From My Garden is the name of it. Isn't my garden beautiful? Oh, I can't wait to really get this rolling so you guys can get to know about all these wonderful plants that we're going to grow. Go out, pick them, bring them up here and cook with them. Hey, my garden is located about 105 miles north of San Francisco in Northern California, Mendocino County, Hopland to be exact, home of Fetzer Vineyards, a wonderful, wonderful place to visit. This is just a beautiful, beautiful setting. We're trying to just break out of the indoor thing with this show. We want to talk to you about growing produce, how to buy it if you can't grow it in your garden. If you're in a small area, a cramped area, be it the big cities or an apartment in a rural area, wherever it is, we want to help you, give you ideas to grow some of your own produce, whether it's a windowsill herb garden or tomatoes in a potted plant, or who knows, sprouting your own beans, sprouting bean sprouts or alfalfa sprouts, something that you can grow and eat fresh and healthy right there in your own home. This is such a wonderful, wonderful idea. I'm so glad to be a part of it. It's just great here. Today I have a guest. His name is Jeff Dawson, the man who created this wonderful outdoor garden. Come on in, Jeff. Let's let everyone meet you. And how are you this morning, Jeff?
Good, Curtis. Welcome to the garden.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me and my whole family, my television family, in the garden. When we get back from this break, Jeff and I are going to be out here. Well, we're going to head out now. We're going to head out here and get ourselves set up to talk to you about the wonderful things in this garden, how it's grown, and so on and so forth. So you don't leave your TV. Get your pencils and papers ready and talk with Jeff and me out in the garden. Let's go see your beautiful garden. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to start outside here in the yard and just kind of sharing my heart to yours. Years ago I got into television to promote reading. I'm not sure if you know my personal story that I did not learn to read until I was age 26. I learned here in Marin County. There's a program at the Marin County Free Library, the Literacy Volunteers of America. That was a program that taught me to read. My tutors, Steve and Jenny, they were just incredible. They were so full of love, and a lot of the work that I've gone on to do, I dedicate a lot of that to Jenny and Steve for helping me, be able to move forward. Another thing Steve and Jenny shared with me was an incredible therapist, Sophie Otis. And why am I talking about this today? Well, the two best things I ever did for me, just me. One, learn to read. Two, seek the help of a therapist, a psychologist that can talk to you about what goes on in the head. And I'm getting to this because today is the last show of April. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And, you know, I'm getting a little emotional thinking about this because, you know, for whatever reason, a lot of times men are us macho cats, you know, and I'm throwing myself in that pot too, the fact that we think strength is being able to lift up something heavy, right? Well, strength is also lifting up those problems that we deal with and also helping other people lift up those problems. So we've put together this little seminar, this little gathering, and a lot of men around Marin County are part of this. May 19th at the Civic Center, 5:30 to 8. And we're also going to be virtual, so if you can't make it in person, you know, there's going to be food, conversation, a lot of great things going on. So I hope you'll see these posters around the county in the month of May, and you can join us. Again, I share with people that shame and embarrassment is what kept me from getting reading help. I try not to be ashamed of things anymore. And embarrassment, you know, I'm trying to deal with that as well. Those are those issues that we have to work with. Whatever it may be keeping you from reaching your goals, you know, sometimes that therapist can help us out. So if you can join us May 19th, please be there, okay? All right, let's do some cooking today. It's one of the ways of, that I help myself stay healthy is by cooking and gardening. So today I get to share both of those worlds with you. Inside we'll do some cooking, outside we'll do some gardening, setting up the next show where we're gonna cook some carrots and some onions and whatever else I might find in my garden. Remember, it's about spreading love, his love, her love. All right, peace, let's go do some cooking. I'm growing carrots, so didn't know what to expect. However, what I'm getting has been really good. I'm going to replant this one. That's good. I'm just going to get enough to make a little serving. Oh yeah, those are like nice little baby carrots there. Okay, so we've got carrots. We'll take those in. I'm going to replant these and hopefully they'll do okay. All right. So let's go find what else we have in our beautiful garden today. There's our carrot patch.